Welcome back. Does your local police force really need grenade launchers? According to the Wall Street Journal, police unions expect the Trump administration to cancel President Obama's executive order that banned police departments from buying things like grenade launchers, armored vehicles, and other surplus military equipment from the federal government. The militarization of police has been a very hot topic lately, with opponents claiming the heavy-duty equipment is unnecessary and can be used to silence free speech and protests. But supporters say cops need the firepower to combat violent gangs. So which side is correct? Joining me, it's Dr. Ron Paul, host of the Ron Paul Liberty Report. Welcome back, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Kennedy. Good to be with you.
Thank you very much. Is the only way to show your support of police in this country to give them grenade launchers?
Hardly. I don't think they would have to have these. And besides, this combination of the federal government and the military providing the weapons for local police, that's a long way from what the founders intended or what the Constitution said. They're not supposed to be involved in this. But it is the militarization of the police, and they're generally out of control. It's related to the drug war, which is out of control. And it just happens that this new administration, they don't want anybody even to touch a marijuana cigarette, and they're going to train them to be better, I guess, with threats of grenade launchers. So, no, I think it's completely wrong. It's a strange thing that libertarians or conservatives can sort of be on the side of Obama, not allowing that to happen. But quite frankly, I think he was correct in not transferring those types of weapons to the local police force.
Yeah, a broken clock is right twice a day, and I agree with you. I think President Obama did have good intentions. Now, when I have this conversation, especially with cops across the country, and I've talked to many police officers about that, and we get into pretty heated discussions as libertarians, because it's not that we don't support police departments. It's not that we don't see that there is a need for some form of law and order. I understand that, but I also think that the military should look different from the police department.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a big difference. It's not a military force. It's not an army. And sometimes I think that they're moving in that direction because the greatest threat, according to the administration, is the global war on terrorism, and that is domestic as well as foreign. But, if you put that in the proper perspective, most of those crimes are related to local crimes. I think in 1 year period, there were 9 people killed that might be related to the global, to terrorism, where there were 12,000 murders, in the inner cities, probably related to drugs. Yeah. So this whole idea that you use the global war on terrorism, that we better be prepared, for, mass conflict with these gangs. But, and it is serious. It is. But I think local control, I think symbolically one of the worst things I ever saw on television was when the Davidian compound was burned down by the feds coming in because they had to, have local police power in order to enforce law. And I don't think it was ever intended that way. The police were supposed to be local, and it shouldn't be with the military. And right now, we certainly have moved in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and good police departments know that community involvement and localizing police interaction as much as possible is what leads to success and trust in police officers in general. And I think when you have, just as you pointed out, the visual of what appears to be a paramilitary organization patrolling the streets of your city, it creates a divide. And we have enough divisions as it is, whether they are political or racial or socioeconomic, that the last thing you need is another layer between the police and the communities that they keep safe.
And this is amplified because just like in every organization, you don't have perfection. So we are far from having perfect policemen. And sometimes all this weaponry and all encourages the police to overreact. And we do see the scenes that almost everybody would say, hey, you shouldn't have done this. And you see people getting shot, and they shouldn't have been. So the atmosphere is such. And we do know that all policemen aren't that way. But that's part of this whole military militarization and war on drugs and perfection and the federal government coming in with tanks and all, because sometimes they feel like they have to use them. What do we have them for? We better be prepared. And they go out and they have all these uniforms on and helmets and tanks, and all of a sudden, sometimes they make mistakes, you know. The SWAT teams have been known to go in and bust in. It's no knock, just go in. Oh, yeah, sorry about this. They tear up places, and that has to do with, with these, that they get these search warrants, that they go in and they do make a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah, toss a flashbang, flashbang device in a crib and burn a toddler. Well, Dr. Paul, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. We have to continue to have this discussion, so we bring things to rationality and normalcy in this country. Thanks again.